If you were trying to save money, would you ignore your bank account? No, you wouldn't. So, why are we ignoring the scale when we're trying to lose fat? It does not make sense, yet so many people avoid stepping on the scale like it's hot lava or something. But that's the exact habit that is keeping you from seeing the changes in your physique and fitting into clothes from 2 or 3 years ago. So, in this video, I'm going to break down why you should be stepping on the scale every day if your goal is to lose fat and actually keep it off in the long run. So, first things first, let's break down what the scale actually represents. Because the number you see on the scale is not just fat or muscle, it's actually made up of different things. So, it includes everything in your body. So, water, muscle, bones, food that's still digesting, and yes, fat. So when you see the scale move up or down, it doesn't automatically mean that you gained weight, you gained fat, or you lost muscle or gained muscle. It just means that something changed. And there's a lot of reasons why that number that you're seeing when you step on the scale can change. In fact, you're going to see that number fluctuate daily, and you can actually have anywhere from 2 to 5 pounds of fluctuation on a daily basis. That's completely normal. But it's really important to understand why that happens so that you don't freak out every time you see a number you don't like on the scale. First thing is inflammation from exercise. So if you're lifting weights or doing anything that's strenuous on your body, you're literally creating small tears in your muscle, and your body is going to go through an inflammatory process in order to recover. And the way your body responds is by sending fluid and different types of nutrients to your muscles to help them repair. And that fluid retention is what's going to make the scale go up temporarily. So, this is why if you ever weighed yourself after a hard workout, you likely weigh more. It's not that you're gaining fat, it's literally just your body healing and rebuilding. Another thing that can play into the number you see on the scale is glycogen storage. Glycogen is just a fancy word for stored carbs. So when you eat carbs, which is your body's main fuel source, they're going to be stored in your muscle and your liver as glycogen. And every gram of glycogen holds a certain amount of water. So anywhere from 3 to 4 grams of water for every glycogen. So if you eat a lot of carbs, that can increase the number on the scale, but that doesn't mean it's fat. And it's not a bad thing because carbs are going to keep your muscles full, it's going to keep your energy up, and your workouts are going to feel a lot stronger. This is why, or a lot better. This is why when you are in a low carb phase, you may notice that your workouts take a hit because you don't have as much fuel to support what you're trying to do. So you may notice that that workout feels a little bit harder. And this is also why people swear by low carb. They swear it's the magic tool to losing fat, and it's not anything magic about it. You're just depleting your glycogen stores, and that's going to play a role in the number you see on the scale. So if you do really low carb, you can see the number on the scale go down. And if that's if you're just looking at that on a like weekly basis, it's not necessarily you losing fat. It's more so just a result of your body depleting its glycogen stores. Not saying you can't lose fat on low carb, because you definitely can. I'm just saying on a weekly basis, if that's all you're looking at and you do low carb, then it's not necessarily fat that you're losing. So there's nothing special about it. The real thing that plays a role in fat loss is your energy balance. And you can have energy balance from eating a certain amount of calories and having the calories you burn or the energy you burn be equal, right? That's your maintenance phase. Or you can have the calories you're burning being higher than the calories you're putting into your body through just your activity. And that's how you get fat loss. Or you can just eat less than you're burning without any exercise and you can lose weight, but you may not have the physique you want. So it all comes down to an energy balance. I just share that to say that low carb isn't anything special. The reason why you're seeing that temporary decrease on the scale just because you're depleting your carb storage. Next thing that could play a role in the number you see on the scale is sodium intake. So say if You had something salty the day before. Let's say you had sushi with a lot of soy sauce, or you had soup. It's soup season. I love soup. It's cold. I eat soup all through the year, actually, but it's soup season over here where I am. And if you eat a lot of soup with sodium, or if you go to a restaurant and you have something that has higher sodium than usual, that salt is going to cause your body to hold on to water, and then that can make the scale go up a couple pounds overnight. Is that you actually gaining fat? No, but the number on the scale can go up. If you don't know these things, you may step on the scale and freak out, which is what most people do, and they end up not wanting to step on the scale again because of the number going up, when in reality the number going up was going to happen regardless. So once your sodium levels kind of level out and you stay hydrated, your weight is just going to bounce back. Then that leads into the next thing, hydration status. So if you're dehydrated, your body is going to weigh less simply because there's less water in your system. But the moment you rehydrate, your body is going to hold onto that water and the scale is going to go back up. So simple things like, are you drinking enough water, can be the reason why the scale is showing you a certain number. Then when it comes to the foods you're eating, so food volume and digestion is a big role, plays a big role in the number you see on the scale. So the amount of food that you have sitting in your stomach and your intestines at the time you are weighing is going to play a role in the number you see. And if you're eating a lot of foods that have a lot of fiber, it's going to take longer for those foods to digest. So the scale may read higher the next morning because you haven't fully digested that food yet, which is a good thing, which is why fiber is helpful, especially when you're trying to lose weight, because it keeps you fuller for longer. But at the same time, even if those foods are lower calorie, you may still have a jump in the scale just because your body hasn't cleared that yet. So we have to know these things so that we don't move off emotions and start freaking out whenever we see something we don't like. Next thing is timing of your last meal. So if you eat late at night or right before bed, your body hasn't digested the food by the morning. So when you weigh yourself in the morning after you use the bathroom, you still may weigh more just because your body has not gotten rid of the food inside of you yet. But that doesn't mean you gain fat. And people love to say, don't eat late. Your body doesn't know if you're eating at midnight or noon. Like your body doesn't know. It's more so your energy intake on a weekly basis, on a daily basis, and kind of balancing that. So the time of your meals don't really matter. You don't have to pay attention to that. I just wanted to throw that in there because that's a common misconception. People are like, oh, I need to eat before 8. No, you don't. It's just more comfortable for your own peace of mind, but it's not really changing anything on a physiological level. Next thing is hormones. So hormones get a lot of attention nowadays, especially with all the menopause talk. And for women, especially, hormones play a big role. So during your cycle, especially around the time you're ovulating or even the week before your period, you're going to have higher levels of progesterone and estrogen, right? And that's going to cause your body to retain more water. So it's normal to see increases during that phase, and then it's usually going to drop off and resolve within a few days. So this is why tracking trends across the entire month daily gives you a better picture, a clearer picture, rather than just you stepping on the scale randomly and seeing the number go up when you don't have any other data to go based on. Another thing that's going to play a role, I have 3 more, bear with me. Sleep and stress. So poor sleep, high stress is going to raise cortisol. Cortisol gets a lot of attention nowadays too. People are like, oh my God, I don't know what type of exercise to do because it's going to raise my cortisol. At the end of the day, anything that causes stress to your body, whether it's emotional, mental, physical, is going to cause you to have an increase in cortisol. What we want to avoid is chronically high cortisol levels. If you go and work out today and you got your blood taken and they measure your cortisol level, it's going to be elevated. That doesn't mean a thing. That's a natural response that your body has. But we don't want cortisol to be high for an extended period of time. So we don't want chronically high levels of cortisol. But if you're not sleeping right and you're under a lot of stress, your cortisol levels are going to be chronically high, and that's going to affect water balance. That's going to affect your ability to maintain any sort of muscle tissue, and you're going to see that reflected on the scale. So even if your nutrition is on point, you might wake up a little bit heavier if you're not sleeping well, if you're not recovering well. This is why sleep is such a big thing that you have to dial in if you want to, one, live a healthy life, and then two, have any performance benefits or have any results show from the things that you're doing in the gym and how you're eating, because sleep is going to play a role in how your body recovers and comes back stronger. Alcohol intake. So alcohol is going to throw off your water balance as well, and that's going to play a role in the number you see on the scale. So alcohol is going to dehydrate you at first. So when you get dehydrated, you may see a drop in the number on the scale in the morning, but as your body rehydrates, the scale is going to rebound back up. And this may or may not be fat gain, but if you are somebody who is consistently drinking a lot of alcohol, likely is going to lead to fat gain just because of the things that go into drinking alcohol. People typically eat differently after they drink. Also, alcohol has effects on muscle protein synthesis. So your body's ability to actually create muscle using the amino acids and proteins that are in our body and that are coming from our diet. So it inhibits that. And then that's going to be a domino effect into losing fat. So alcohol intake is going to throw off the number you see on the scale for a lot of different reasons. And then next, obviously, is bowel movement. So this one is simple. If you haven't gone to the bathroom yet, you're going to be carrying more food and more waste in your system. So make sure that you relieve yourself and then weigh yourself so that you get a clear reading on what your actual body weight is at that moment. And you want to do that consistently so that you can track things over time. So when you take into consideration of all the things we talked about, so sleep, recovery, alcohol intake, glycogen, water, sodium, hormones, stress, bowel movements, it's easy to see how your body weight is going to fluctuate day to day. And this is why relying on one weigh in, like people do, is very misleading, because you can step on the scale on a day where your weight is high and you're going to think you gain fat. You're going to panic. You're going to get emotional. And you're going to say, oh my God, all the stuff that I've been doing is not working. What's going on? And then you start to move off of emotion instead of taking it as one data point, as one number, and not letting it define you. Because in reality, a lot of times, if you're just weighing yourself randomly, like once a month, you're going to step on that scale when it's a high day and you're going to crash out. So it's better if you actually have more data to support your training and your nutrition. And this is exactly why you need to weigh yourself daily so you can collect enough data points to see the real trend and not react to one number. Some people may think that weighing yourself daily is excessive. And I've worked with clients where they don't necessarily want to weigh themselves daily until they get a little bit more comfortable with it. But weighing yourself daily is the best. If you're not comfortable with that, then weighing yourself 3 or 4 times a week is good, because the reality is, if you are weighing yourself, you're going to know exactly where you stand. You're not going to wake up one day and gain 15 pounds if you've been weighing yourself. It gives you that awareness. It's not like you are going to avoid it and then you're putting on weight and then you're surprised. Like, you will never be surprised if you weigh yourself daily. It's kind of like you ignoring your bank account and then you go to buy something and you overdraft and you're like, oh my God, what happened? I don't have any money in my account. But then you never paid attention to all of the subscriptions you had coming out, all the bills you had on auto pay. You're literally just going through life vibing, and you would never do that in your financial life or your personal life. So, like, why are we doing that when it comes to our fitness goals? It just doesn't make sense. There's a disconnect. So the more you weigh yourself, the better awareness you have. And then also you desensitize yourself from any negative emotions you have around the scale, because at the end of the day, like everybody says, age is just a number. Like, the scale is just a number. The number on the scale is literally just a number. It's one tool that you use in conjunction with others to see where you are at. All right. So Next thing I wanted to talk about, sorry, I lost my train of thought. I want to show you guys an example of this because you need to see it to believe it. So I'm gonna pull up something. All right, you guys see that scale or diagram of, actually I should say graph, but you guys see that? Let me know in the comments if you can see that. This is some data from one of my clients that we've been working together for over a year. And this was her weight. The 251.5 was her weight starting the week of January 6th. I had her track her weight at least 4 times a week. She was apprehensive to doing so because of the normal negative emotions that we all experience when we are not getting what we want, or we feel like we're working hard and things aren't working out the way that we expect them to. So got her on board with weighing herself. This was in January. And then fast forward to June, she was weighing in at 230 pounds. And then now in October, she is weighing in at 224. So I also want to show this. This is all of her weekly averages. I also have it on a daily basis, but it will take up a lot of space on the screen. So if you guys see each week, her weight either dropped or stayed relatively the same, but over time, you will see that the overall trend is going down. So this just shows you how, if you actually have more data points to pull from, you're not going to lose your mind and say things aren't working out, because if you're tracking things multiple times per week and you take the average on a monthly basis, if you're truly in a deficit and doing what you have to do, you're going to see the scale go down. It may not go down on a daily basis, but we're looking to see trends over time. We're not looking to see trends on a day-to-day basis, right? Because I could weigh 150 today and then tomorrow I may weigh 155. That doesn't mean anything. We're not looking for microwave results. We're more so looking for things that are sustainable over time. So that's how we have to approach the way we track our data and to track the things that we are paying attention to. But if you're only stepping on the scale when you feel good once a month or once every 6 weeks, do not be surprised when that number is higher than you expect, because you have not gathered enough data points to even make a decision or feel a way about it. Only way you could feel is feel, I don't want to be mean, but just take a look at yourself and really think about what you're doing when you're not stepping on the scale, when you're avoiding things because of an emotion you may feel. And I do want to say this, because there's always people that are like, oh, it creates eating disorders and it's obsessive. I don't think tracking anything is obsessive. I think it gains awareness. It gives you awareness. It gives you insight. And the only way to make educated decisions and make good decisions in life is to have awareness and exposure to things. So the more you expose yourself to stepping on the scale, the more awareness you have and the better your results will be. So the takeaway from this is simple. If you want to lose fat and actually keep it off, you cannot ignore the data. And there's plenty of research that shows the people who weigh themselves more often lose weight quicker and they actually keep it off for longer. And nobody wants to lose weight just to say they lost weight. Like, people want to lose weight and keep it off. So that just shows you need to be weighing yourself more often. And just because you see something that you don't like on the scale, it does not define your worth. You don't have to crash out. It's just giving you feedback. And the more feedback you have, the better you can adjust and keep making progress. So you guys have seen what I do with my clients. I have them weigh themselves multiple times a week, and then we track, we adjust, and we execute based on the data that we have. So if you're ready to do that with your training and you need expert guidance, you want to have a coach in your pocket all the time, then I am taking people for my 90-day intensive lifting program. If you're interested, just comment intensive and I'll send you the details and the link to sign up. And if you're watching this on YouTube, then click the link in the description to see exactly what it's about, and you can sign up there to get started. If you have any questions, just either message me on social media or email me with the email that's also in the description, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.